All right, today on Chasing Cards, we're going to change things up a bit. We got some 1991 Fleer Ultra Football. All right, let's see what we can get out of this box here. Let's see what we got here. Mark Collins, Rob Moore, Mark Carrier, Reggie Roby, Mike Pryor, Johnny Johnson, John Raid, Brett Favre. Is that a Brett Favre? This is a Brett Favre rookie. All right. First pack out of the gate. We got Favre, Thurman Thomas. All right. Al Smith, Howie Long, Ickey Woods, Steve Sewell, Emil Harry. All right. Not a bad start. All right, Aaron Cox, Mike Rozier, Eric Bieniemy. It's a rookie card. That's Washington offensive coordinator. All right, we'll put him on the stand. Being a Commanders fan, got to show some love. Andre Reed, Sean Jones, Tim Brown, James Brooks, Bobby Humphrey, Christian Okoye, Dwight Stone, Billy Joe Tolliver, Dave Craig, Jim Harbaugh, Charles Wilson. Dave Treadwell, Kevin Porter, Greg Lloyd, Ronnie Harmon, Andy Heck, Emil Stinson, Johnny Holland, Jim Lachey. What do we got? Kevin Green, All-Star. All right. Alfred Anderson, Gene Atkins, Nick Bell, Mark Ingram, Byron Evans. Ron Hall, Tim McKeer, Rowan Stark, Rich Camarillo, Brian Jordan, Mo Gardner, Jamie Mueller, Drew Hill, Vance Mueller, Anthony Munoz, put him down here, Ricky Nattel, Albert Lewis, Lewis Lips, Anthony Miller. Tom Ratman, Michael Irvin, excuse me, Reggie Langhorne, Tom Hodson, Cleveland Gary, Mike Merriweather, Ron Stallworth, Reggie Cobb, John Offerdahl, Clarence Verdon, Ernie Jones, Keith Jones, Godfrey Miles, Pete Menzel-Laris. Excuse me. Jay Taylor, Andre Rison, Bernie Mills, Leonard Smith, Johnny Meads, Jay Schrader, Carl Zander, Dennis Smith, Rob Thomas, Hardy Nickerson, Leslie O'Neill, Patrick Hunter, Richard Dent, Brian Noble. Right. All right, so all you football fans out there, how are your teams doing this year? Let me know in the comments. Brownie Nagel, Leon Seals, Lorenzo White, Greg Townsend, Eddie Brown, Dave Treadwell, Kevin Porter, Greg Lloyd, Ronnie Harmon, Andy Heck, the Mule Stinson, Johnny Holland, Jim Lachey, Kevin Green All-Star. All right. Ray Childress, Marcus Allen. Put Marcus up here. Lewis Billups, Steve Atwater. All right. Steve DeBerg, Gary Anderson, Marion Butts, Brian Blades, Neil Anderson, Anthony Dilweg, Daryl Green. All right. Look, Daryl Green so boss, he knocked the stand over. All right, Anthony Carter, Morton Anderson, Mike Kroll. All right, Phil Simms, Keith Jackson, Don Griffin, Aikman. Put him back here with Irvin. Thane Gash, Andre Tippett, Henry Ellard, Daryl Fullington, Ken O'Brien, Chris Chandler, Jim Jensen, Bill Brooks, Tim Rosenbach, Chris Miller. All right, Steve Jordan, Eric Martin, Mike Pritchard, Dave Meggett, Wes Hopkins, Tom Ratham, another Michael Irvin. All right. Reggie Langhorne, Tom Hodson, Cleveland Gary, Mike Merriweather, Ron Stallworth, Reggie Cobb, John Offerdahl. Perry Kemp. We got Art Monk. Rich Gannon, Craig Hayward, Russell Maryland, Phil Simms, Keith Jackson, Don Griffin, another Aikman. Thane Gash, Andre Tippett, Henry Ellard, Daryl Fullington, Ken O'Brien. I think we saw half of that pack already. Right. Eric Howard, James Hasty, Roderick Thomas, Dan Marino. Jeff George, Jay Taylor, Andre Rison, Ernie Mills, Leonard Smith, Johnny Meads, Jay Schrader, Carl Zander, Dennis Smith, Rob Thomas. All right. So if we got any Chiefs fans out there watching, what are your thoughts about the, well, it's seeming to be a distraction with Travis Kelce and America's sweetheart Taylor Swift? Toy Cook, Dan McGuire, Pepper Johnson, Randall Cunningham, Kevin Fagan, Michael Kofer, Kevin Mack, Maurice Hurst, Vern Broster, Mark Collins, Rob Moore, Mark Carrier, Reggie Roby, Mike Pryor. Yeah, I just think that whole Kelce and Taylor Swift thing is going to cause more of a distraction for the team than it should. Steve Young. William Fuller, Eric Hill, Sam Shale, Mark Vanderpool, Scott Norwood, Haywood Jeffries, Eddie Anderson, Jim Breach, Melvin Bratton, Nick Lowry, Rod Woodson, Junior Seau, John Williams. I'd toss that Scott Norwood card, but I'd be afraid to go wide left. Sorry, Bills fans. It's like putting salt in the wound, I know. All right, Gary Clark, Stephon Page, Herschel Walker, Brett Perryman, Jared Bunch, Rodney Hampton, Reggie White, Jerry Rice. All right, let's see here. Put Jerry Rice over here. Mike Saxon, Brian Brennan, Steve Smith, Jerry Gray, Leon White, Mark Buller. Mark Boyer, I'm sorry. All right. Maurice Carthon, Anthony Toney, Daryl Pollard, Barry Sanders. All right. Eric Metcalf, John Stevens, Pat Carter, Al Noga, Eric McMillan, Ron Hall, Tim McKeer, Rowan Stark, Rich Carmelo, Brian Jordan. Hartley Dykes, Willie Anderson, Carl Banks, Kyle Clifton, Gary Anderson, Mark Clayton, Dwayne Beckett, Ken Harvey, Steve Brosard, Brownie Nagel, Leon Seals, Lorenzo White, Greg Townsend, Eddie Brown. Gary Plummer, Kevin Green, Mike Singletary, Joe Mott, Vinny Testaverde, Steve Young, William Fuller, Eric Hill, Sam Seal, Mark Vanderpool, Scott Norwood, Haywood Jeffries, Eddie Anderson, Jim Breach. Ernest Givens, Willie Gault, Dave Fulcher, Mark Jackson, Derek Thomas, Merle Hodge, Burt Grossman, Norm Johnson, Kevin Butler, Perry Kemp, another Art Monk, Rich Gannon, Craig Hayward, Russell Maryland. Thomas Everett, Arthur Cox, Terry Wooden, William Perry, Sterling Sharp, Gary Clark, Stephon Page, Herschel Walker, Brett Perryman, Gerald Bunch, Rodney Hampton, Reggie White, Jerry Rice, Mike Saxon, Dalton Hillard, Herman Moore, Lawrence Taylor. All right, so we will hate to do this. Sorry, Daryl Green. I'm gonna put you down here. Heath Sherman, Charles Haley, Emmett Smith. You know what? Emmett and Urban can share a stand. Clay Matthews, Tim Kamari, Jim Everett, Tim McGee, Al Toon, William Drury, Sammy Smith, Jack Trudeau. Derek Fenner, Trace Armstrong, Tim Harris, Wilbur Marshall, Chris Stolman, Toy Cook, Dan McGuire, Pepper Johnson, Randall Cunningham, Kevin Fagan, Michael Kofer, Kevin Mack, Maurice Hurst, Bern Brosek. Oh, sorry, I just bumped the camera. Right. Alvin Walton, John Williams, Hassan Jones, Vaughn Johnson, Randall Hill, Maurice Carthon, Anthony Toney, Daryl Pollard, another Barry Sanders, Eric Metcalf, John Stevens, Pat Carrier, Al Noga, Eric McMillan. Right, let's see here. Tommy Kane, Mark Carrier, Don Mudgkowski, Gerald Riggs, Wade Wilson, Dalton Hillard, Herman Moore, another LT. Heath Sherman, Charles Haley, another Emmett. Clay Matthews, Tim Kamari, Jim Everett. Looks like Aikman got sacked back there. Let me stand him up here. Oh, whole thing goes down. All right. Well, shit. All right. Let's do this. There's Aikman. Oh, son of a bitch. All right. There we go. I think we got it now. All right. Otis Anderson, Keith Byers, Dexter Carter, Jerry Ball, Leroy Horde, Hartley Dykes, Willie Anderson, Carl Banks, Kyle Clifton, Gary Anderson, Mark Clayton, Dwayne Bickett, Ken Harvey, Steve Brosert. Alfred Anderson, Gene Atkins, Nick Bell, Mark Ingram, Byron Evans, John Taylor, Checklist, Reuben Davis, Broderick Thompson, Todd McNair, Mike Young, Jeff Bryant, Winston Moss, Mike Kofer. Chris Chandler, Jim Jensen, Bill Brooks, Tim Rosenbach, Chris Miller, Chris Zorich, Bruce Smith, Warren Moon, okay, Ethan Horton, Rodney Holman, Vance Johnson, Barry Ward, Tim Worley, Rod Bernstein. All right, Mark Rippon, Joey Browner, Steve Walsh, Pat Harlow, Louis Tillman, Jerome Brown, Brent Jones, Checklist, Eugene Marv, Gary Plummer, Kevin Green, Mike Singletary, Jim Motts, Vinny Testaverde. Johnny Johnson, John Raid. Got another Favre rookie. All right. Another Thurman Thomas. Al Smith, Howie Long, Ickey Woods, Steve Sewell, Emil Harris, Thomas Everett, Arthur Cox, Terry Wooden, William Perry, Sterling Sharp. Mo Gardner, Jamie Mueller, Drew Hill, Vance Mueller, Anthony Munoz, Ricky Natel, Albert Lewis, Louis Slips, Anthony Miller, Tommy Kane, Mark Harrier, Don Majkowski, Gerald Briggs, Wade Wilson. All right. Get down to the wire here. We've got Clarence Verdon, Ernie Jones, Keith Jones, Godfrey Miles, Pete Metazzalaris, Ernest Givens, Willie Gault, Dave Fulcher, Mark Jackson, Derek Thomas, Merle Hodge, Burt Grossman, Norm Johnson, Kevin Butler. Got Hardy Dickerson, Leslie O'Neill, Patrick Hunter, Richard Dent, Brian Noble, Mark Rippon, Joey Browner, Steve Walsh, Pat Harlow, Louis Tillman, Jerome Brown, Brett Jones, Checklist, and Eugene Marve. All right. We've got 4 packs left. John Taylor, Checklist, Reuben Davis, Broderick Thompson, Todd McNair, Mike Young, Jeff Bryant, Winston Moss, Mike Kofer, John Grimsley, Robert Brown, Jeff Bostic, Ricky Waters, and Don Bebe. Don Bebe kids. Chris Zorich, Bruce Smith, Warren Moon, Ethan Horton, Rodney Holman, Vance Johnson, Barry Ward, Todd Worley, Rod Bernstein, Jacob Green, Brad Muster, Jeff Carey, Ernest Spiner, and we got a Darryl Green All-Star. All right. 2 packs to go. Dennis Gentry, Keith Woodside, Ricky Sanders, Charles Haley All-Star, Rick Finney, Pat Swilling, Todd Maranovich, Everson Walls, Fred Barnett, Joe Montana. All right. We'll put him, Thurman Thomas here. Share stand. Rodney Peete, Mike Johnson, Irving Fryer, Mike Wiltshire. All right. It's our last pack. Bruce Kozerski, Lewis Oliver, Albert Bentley, Tim McDonald, Deion Sanders. All right, put him back here. He can share with Marino. Sarah Tualo, Shane Connellan, Chris Dishman, Mervyn Fernandez, Boomer Esiason, John Elway, Stephone Page, Bubby Brister, Gilbert. All right, overall, not a bad box here. Got 2 Favre rookies. Yeah, can't complain. All right, if you like what you see, please remember to hit the subscribe and like button. Helps the channel out. Helps me continue to bring more content to you. Thank you guys so much for watching.